politics meets power, where the tough questions are asked. Welcome to Face to Face. Every Tuesday at 9 p.m., join Umaru Sanda Amadou as he takes you face to face with the key players shaping the future of our nation.
I lost over $10 million at the trade fair.
You had a fight with the management of trade fair?
I don't have a fight with them. I just deplore the way they went about what they did.
Let's talk about the chief prosecutor of the state at the time that you were being prosecuted, Godfrey Yeboah-Dame, the Attorney General.
Yes. I think he was directed to jail us.
By who?
By the system.
Boko has been a failure for your government, though.
Can't be a failure.
You have not solved it.
No, you are not praising them, the previous government for solving it, which was even a more difficult case.
It's quite obvious that from these votes, the people felt that let's just let you go.
So they were disappointed in
us.
You are essentially the worst government in the Fourth Republic.
I don't know how you are doing that. If you based on the indicators.
Yes, based on the number of people who refuse to come and vote for you.
If that is your analysis, then why not?
No filter, no boundaries, just the truth behind the headlines. Deep, bold, and unflinching. Face to Face with Umaru Sanda Amadou airs on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV, where politics gets real.
Welcome back to the Friends and Family Show. Before we went for that break, I was telling you about our topic for today. Educated but broke. Is it actually the young Ghanaian struggle? We'll get into all of this, and I want you to be a part of the show. Tonight, I have 3 strong men in the studio. All men. It's going to be quite interesting. I'm starting off with Mr. Stephen Homadi, who is a graduate.
Yes.
And then my next guest is actually not too very familiar on the screens. That's Caleb Kuda, who's a journalist, a broadcast journalist. You're very welcome, darling. Right. We have Moses Ajaklu, who's an entrepreneur as well. You're welcome, Moses.
Thank you so much.
Okay. This topic is quite heavy. And especially if you're in the youth classified. Right now, so the age, I don't know where it ends. Because I find 50 or 60, 55 people say that youth.
It's a state of mind.
State of mind, wonderful.
Yeah.
But this conversation is quite interesting. You're educated, but then you're broke. So does it mean that, like we're told, education is key, and probably education actually is not serving as that golden ticket to being prosperous or being wealthy or, getting into the world that you have dreamed? Like you're in university, right after uni, you're thinking like, Chalet, I went to study probably arts. I went to study psycho. So I'm coming into the world. Chalet, I'm going to tell the people that me too, I feel open book.
Me too, I finished school.
Yes. Yeah. But then after school, first year, okay, so it's normal. Second year, now there's a blockage. Like you keep trying and trying. Yeah. Now let me just put my question like this. So does it mean that education is actually not handing over the golden tickets that we think that once you go to school and come out to the HSA? Afa. Does it give us that golden ticket or it doesn't?
Yeah, thank you very much. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very debatable topic anyway. So the thing is, it gives out that key that you're talking about, but it's for some few people. So, for example, in my case like this, if not because of education, I wouldn't have been here in the first place.
Right.
Looking at where I'm coming from, we do fishing a lot. So I remember there was a day that there was this guy who popped in our village and he was saying, you guys are doing fishing here. A day will come, this whole river will dry up. And what happens next? So you need to educate yourself in order to get something doing, maybe when that time comes. So I picked it up. Within the village, the age mates that I was with those days, some didn't. but I was able to, go through, thinking that one day things will,
be better.
be better. And here I am, 6 years after completing school, I'm still jobless.
Wow. 6 years.
6 years.
You've been trying.
Been trying, but it's still not working. But you see, there's something about this whole thing that they are not telling us. When you start school, instead of them telling you what happens after school, you are not being educated about that. Like you just said, you are only told that education is the key to success. It might be true for others, but 80% of us, it's just not.
Do you think it's as a case of luck? Like people, that 20% is just lucky. They're just lucky to have landed. They're probably their dream jobs, or probably, sometimes it's not even your dream job. The fact that you get something doing, because you chase your dream job and you still will not. So you'd have to, move somewhere else. Do you think it's as because it's luck?
Yeah, for few it's luck, but for others it's not. People from a good background, education helps them a lot. But when you are from a good background, there's nothing that will stop you on the way. All you need is to get yourself educated. That's what your family needs from you, and then the rest they will sort it out for you. For them, it's already planned. You can't say luck for those people, but the few that are coming from a difficult background, for them luck comes in. And we those that luck is not on our side, we are those that are facing the challenges.
Wow.
And trust me, we are the 70 to 75% of the people that I'm talking about.
Caleb?
So it's interesting. I'll tell you a story of how I met Stephen, but my introductory thoughts will be that education is a leveler. It helps open doors and gives people access. I think what makes it how we feel is the fact that while we're young, when you're trying to encourage people to go to school, what you tell them is, study hard, you go to school, when you get to the uni, you get a degree, you get a job, you marry, you have a good life, and you live happily ever after. I think that's what people don't
go
really
by.
Tell us.
Yeah.
And the whole adulting thing also gives you a rude awakening when you get into it. So that's the whole point. But again, when we're talking about the education point, I think that many of us leave school educated in the programs we sought to study, but not fully educated in financial literacy.
Right.
Not educated in life skills. Not educated in some of the critical things that will help us become successful. So sometimes we sit back and we compare ourselves with some of our peers in uni, for example, who are not as smart. And they are financially doing well after school.
Right.
And we ask ourselves, so what's going on? There is a systemic thing where sometimes, depending on who you know and how you're able to network your way through, you're able to get things through. That's why you see that while in university, some of your friends will be joining certain groupings, certain associations,
right,
and aligning or affiliating with certain organizations, all in a bid to secure the money bag or their future. So I think the whole education thing, it's critical. Everyone needs to get educated.
Right.
I keep telling younger people that, look, if you've been to school and you have the certificate and you are out on the street struggling, when anyone meets you and someone who has not been to school, between the two of you, it's easier to help the one who has a certificate but doesn't have the means than the one who just said, oh, my parents didn't have the means, so I didn't, even though I'm smart, I didn't study.
Yes.
There are so many examples of people we meet on the streets, and just by telling their stories, people get interested in them and
want to help,
and things
exactly.
turn around. So the education point, by all means, everyone must get educated. But notice we are not saying everyone must go to school. Because a lot of people assume that having even grammar education is education. Or going to school to get grammar education is what it is.
Or being able to express yourself.
Exactly. To the extent that we actually look down on technical and vocational education.
Right.
And I'm sure we'll get into those details. So my preliminary thoughts are that, well, education is great. Finding opportunity is up to you. There are some things that we expected school to teach us while we were there so that we will thrive.
Right.
And I think that's where the missing links or the gaps are. And even with higher education institutions, a lot of administrators are engaging themselves to see how they can produce graduates who are better prepared to take on the world, either start their own jobs, or be excellent at the jobs they are given. Because there's also the point that sometimes these graduates, people say when they give them the opportunity, they come around and they mess up. So have big graduates, there is that reality.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think that's also not necessarily coming out from uni to do what you've been taught from uni.
Yeah.
You know, you need to be prepared for what's out there as well.
Correct.
You know, so that at least if this is flopping, so we are not really prepared for what's out there, but we're only prepared for what
we've been through and what we've been prepared for.
We've been prepared for at school.
So when agility and versatility
is not there.
Yeah.
So when you come out, sometimes it's a bit difficult.
Yeah.
For this particular line, I'm going to ask Moses. Moses is an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
So then, did you just move straight from school to think that, oh, let me just start, you know, something? Let me just do my own thing, because running around is not my thing. So did you plan from uni that right after uni, I just need the education, I just need the papers, I just need to put it aside. But when I go into the world, I just want to chart my own path, like I want to do my own thing? Or it took a while?
Okay, so actually growing up, I had my own perception about life. I didn't want to work for anyone because all the great people I've seen or read about, they are all entrepreneurs and they are all doing things for themselves. It all started with the experiences I had way back in senior high school.
Okay.
Because I am very smart. Do you get it? In school, I can learn and make people feel that themselves they didn't come to school. I was very smart, but I think we were the last batch who paid school fees. I think 2016 SHS. So I was very smart, but I think everything about me was just book. So it got to a time I had to pay school fees and there was no money. So they sacked me, you know, in my class too, because there is this kind of competition. Anytime they sack me, people are happy
because the winner is not there. Exactly.
Yeah. So when I come home, because of my background,
first, second, first position.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So because of my background home, I think I lost my dad when I started SHS. So things became very difficult. Right, so anytime I come home, I can't put all the pressure on my mom. And as at that time too, she has given birth fresh. So I had to work as a bus conductor.
Wow.
Yeah, for like 3 weeks and gather money. And as I'm working, I have to do trouble small because I need money. You get.
I'm glad that you're being honest.
Yeah, so I need money. So my mom, after working for 3 weeks, my mom is going to support with the rest and all. So I was able to complete school. I had the results I wanted to get. We were about 660 something students. I was part of the best 10, the whole school.
Right.
I had the results and I was like, yeah, I've done well. But after school, I realized that right now I know booked and everything, but there's no work. You see? And I'm like, so am I going to university and going to do this again? So I started working with Deco Plus. I don't know if Deco Plus. And there too, I was working, and I was able to gather some money to start uni. Legon, I had my first choice, Legon. So I was studying mathematics, economics, and statistics, EMS.
Okay.
So when you go to Legon and you mention EMS, they know you're a shark. So the struggle began from there. I was able to pay my fees. My mom came in, my auntie also came in. But there was a time I was supposed to pay the rest of the fees, and my mom was like, bro, there's nothing. So you have to go back to the bus conducting job. I was like, for real? Being through all of this way back in SHS, and I've gone to university, I've seen beautiful girls, I've tried jobbing them and things, and right now I should go and be in a car.
So that's your worry?
Oh, like
it's a big problem.
It's a significant
how's that a big problem?
It's a significant problem. Because it's like you've met people and all, and I was like, bro, I think I need to do something for myself. That was when this entrepreneurship thing came in.
Amen.
I can go on YouTube around 2021, how to make money online. Thousands of videos. I can say I've watched almost 80%.
Really?
Yeah, how to make money online. So there was this guy I saw doing forex trading, Elvis Justice. Big ups to Elvis Justice. He was very young as at that time. He was around 22, 21, and this guy was having a Lamborghini, just trading forex. So he was the one who inspired me. So actually, Legon, I had to drop the course.
Oh, you didn't go through it?
Yes, I had to drop the course. So I was actually supposed to graduate this year. So I dropped the course, and I focused
on your forex.
Yes, but my mom knew I was going to school.
Aye.
It was hard. So since I needed money to buy courses to better myself, because I believed in one thing, that if you get a skill, if you work on yourself and get a skill, it's going to set you up for life. So the money my mom was giving me for school, I wasn't going to the school. I was saving them small, and I was able to meet someone to help me buy a course, and through that I'm here today.
Wow.
And you know, because I'm in this kind of environment, entrepreneur, you need to better yourself. It is not only about what you know. And
you have
also,
to learn other things.
Yes, I had to go back to school.
Beautiful.
So right now I'm studying with Accra Business School.
Nice.
Now now University of Gold Coast. Yes, I saw the course with London School of Business, but looking at the kind of person I am, I want to network, I want to learn. Each and every time I want to learn. So I decided not to do it online, but
in person.
Do it in person, and
okay.
I think it's helping.
Right. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
right, so now let's talk about coming out of uni.
Yes.
While you're in uni, your ideas, perceptions, everything about coming out, and then reality. In uni,
yes.
You're like, you get.
Yeah.
When I'm done, probably reading law. Yeah. Yeah. The day you graduate class, just say your shoulder cannot come down.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I saw that day jacket. So why kuntai? That, and then being in the world, like reality, facing reality. Is there a difference?
Yeah. Big difference.
A big difference.
There's a big difference, yeah.
So the thing is, in my course like this, we were told in class that, look, you are not that much in the system. I read occupational therapy. So we were told that you are not that much in the system. So you've got this assurance that since
there are not so many people.
Yes.
There's high
definitely.
demand.
There's high demand,
definitely, right? After completing, everything will be in for you. So we were just happy. As time goes on, you just can't wait to complete. When you're growing up, you're like, oh, Charlie, after school, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do this, I'll do that. Because after school, you are just pushed into the system, and that's good. I completed, and the reality started when I started doing my national service.
Okay.
I was posted to Accra Psychiatric Hospital. So imagine walking from Kolibu to Asalam down for 1 good year.
What?
Walking from Kolibu to Asalam
Kolibu, I don't, shortcuts or normal routes?
Normal route.
Hey.
To Asalam down for 1 good year. The funny thing about that is, during our national service, that was when the COVID strike. So for 7 good months, we were not paid. The time we were supposed to do our biometric, there was a lockdown.
Okay.
We got stranded. That was where everything started. And then after school, after the national service, we're hoping that things would be working.
Will get better.
But nothing seems to work. That's why we got to realize that if your course or the program that you've read in the university is not that maybe much in the system, you are just not recognized.
Do you think it's in our side of the world, our part of the world?
Yes, outside of the world. That's how.
You're sure about that?
Yes.
So I'm sure at this point someone is asking, occupational therapist, Omoyeding.
Yes.
So yeah, that's always the question that you usually ask.
So tell us.
So occupational therapy, what we do is we comes in when during the treatment to a patient, the process of a recovery, the recovery process of a patient. So what we do is that we work on the functional part of the patient. So you've gone through a lot. The doctors are there to save your life, to give you life. The physios are there to make you maybe walk and do some range of motion and all that stuff. We occupational therapists, we come in for you to function again.
Okay, like psychology.
Not
psychology.
Not psychology. We do that one too.
Okay.
So what we do is, what were you doing before this whole thing happened? Can we be able to put in some therapeutic interventions for you to go back? So that's the word occupation. So it goes with the word occupational therapy.
So that you won't say that because this has happened, I won't do this job again.
Exactly.
Right.
So you see, because they are not making use of us, that's why you will hear stories like a hardworking person got an accident or fell sick, then after that,
not going back.
He's not going back. What happened?
Okay.
Because there's no occupational therapy too. I mean,
fill that gap
to rehabilitate the person to go back to their way.
Okay.
See.
Okay. So my next question is going to be: do you think that the courses that we learn at school actually affects us?
Exactly.
It does.
Exactly.
It does.
But you chose it now.
Sometimes, in some cases, you are giving what you get.
Yeah.
Okay. That's also there. Yeah, that's also there.
But in my story, I didn't want to do it. I have my own profession that I want to do, but just in the health sector.
Okay.
So because I cannot get there straightforward, I needed to pass through somewhere. So the one sponsoring me helped me throughout. When I hear stories like my mom paid my fees, my dad paid, we never had that.
You have to do that by yourself.
Everything is done by yourself. So from SHS to university, it's the same thing. So you do everything by your own. So
that's a lot of struggle on its own.
I'm telling you.
So let me tell you a story. How we got to meet, right? So I went to the girl I'm saying.
I understand.
Yeah, I understand. Not the one in the water or the forest.
We understand.
So it was about an education fair and a job opportunity. Companies from a particular country in Europe were going to be there to recruit people to apprenticeship, to intern and do apprenticeship in that country and get jobs there. Others were going to recruit some to work here in Ghana, and then there were study abroad opportunities there. So the organizers made me do a video for them. I shared this online, and it got like hundreds of thousands of views, and I was surprised myself. But I figured a lot of people were interested because there was an opportunity for you to travel to that country and go and work.
Right.
So that's what got a lot of people. So on the morning, the first day of the program, the minister, they were late as usual. And usually when I'm seeing things and it's that awkward moment, you get to want to know who you are with and all those things. UPSA auditorium, the whole place was full. And I was asking people who they are, where they are from, what they do. People came from Takrady, Tamaleho, almost all over the place. Then we're asking people, so what do you do? People say occupational therapist. People say this and that. People are telling me nice, fancy titles. So I was excited. Oh, I'm meeting some very solid people. Then at the point I asked, so are you looking for a job in Ghana or you're looking to be recruited? That's when I met him.
Okay.
I go to him and I asked, so are you hoping to get a job to go study in Europe, to go work in Europe, or you want to work here? And then he exploded. He said, if there were hope in Ghana, I've been searching for a job for 6 years. I want to go to Germany. There is no...
That's a direct answer.
No, he just... And I said, okay, sorry. So how many of you want to go to Germany? Everybody raised their hands. I'm like, okay. So, right, guys, how many of you are unemployed? That's where the answer to your question. 75% of the auditorium, the people there, said they were unemployed. After telling me, that thing, if you're a driver, you say you're a locomotive officer. After telling me all those nice English.
What is locomotive officer?
Just a driver.
Okay.
75% of them were unemployed. Another 10% were underemployed. And then the rest were just looking for other things to while away time.
Right.
So the reality is that there are a lot of people who have been looking or actively job hunting for a long time since they left school. And people are really going through it. People are really, really going through it because after you've been through the university, your guardians or your family, even people who didn't contribute to your education, are expectant that you're a graduate.
So you should be doing something.
So once they see you, they're expecting that you can make things happen. But there is a theory called waithood. You are not a child, but you are not an adult.
You're in
between that spot. You are growing, but you don't have the wherewithal.
Right.
Wherewithal. When the family meets and they are taking decision,
you'll be sharing water.
They don't wait for you. You will sweep and you arrange chairs because they feel that you don't have the economic power to you can't make any economic decisions. And a lot of people
a
lot of people are in that's
yes, a lot of people.
I think I also think the courses we did at the university, we did them because we liked education. One, from our teachers way back in SHS, and even from our homes. Was my auntie has really educated herself, but I didn't really get time to talk to her about the courses I wanted to do. And also, our teachers also lied to us.
Oh, they
yes,
did?
They lied
to
us.
In what way?
University, just do any course. When you get first class, you get work. But they didn't let us know that these are the courses you have to do if you want to get work after you are done with school.
But the chances are neither here or there.
It's what you make of the experience.
Yes, it's what you make of the experience.
Good, but then they should have educated us enough, because
that when you do handiwork, you get job.
Or maybe this course you are doing, like they have to educate us for us to know what we are really getting ourselves into.
Okay, so this brings us to my next question. Do you think that the Ghanaian education system sets us up for struggle or sets us up for success?
Yeah, you see,
so no, this one is a bit dicey. Yeah, it's a bit dicey, so you have to relax more answer me. Yeah, the education now service system in Ghana.
Yeah, so like
does it set you up for struggle?
Okay, I cannot just give a direct answer to what you're trying to mean, but you see, the thing is, what you experience is not what someone experiences. So that's where the debate will come in. But the thing, what he's saying is true, because I'm a science student when I was in the SHS. You know, back in the SHS, the moment you are a science student, it means that you have to work in the health sector.
Okay.
So your mind is programmed that you will either be a doctor, any kind of health work that is involved.
Related.
So you are just programmed that way. I got to, I think there was a time that I realized that it's not even true. A science student, you can do a whole lot of things, not even relating to science. So that is where I got to know that some of the teachers are not telling us the truth. Because leaving the SHS, you are always thinking of either being a nurse, a doctor, a physiotherapist.
I think I agree with you. You know, growing up, you know that when you're a science student, definitely like what you're saying, or the business student, then you're going to do something else. Sometimes general arts is a bit flexible, you know, but then they still say that general arts is either you know how to talk, so you're being a journalist, or you can do, you know, something communication or something. Or law. So at least general arts is a bit broad. And then when you do visual arts, they say, hey, Papa Pinta, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
You see, there's a huge gap when it comes to career guidance and also preparation for the world of work. You know, a lot of people are done with school and cannot prepare an invoice. I mean, I will not talk about proposal, because proposal is even a bit like that, right? I mean, I left school, I started work, and then, someone asked for an invoice, and I go online, I invoice, and then you see a sample, then you develop one. But, so I think a lot of institutions, especially the private ones, are becoming very deliberate about preparing their graduates for the world of work and what will help them, one, land a job, or two, start one. Because it's one thing being brilliant in class, being able to memorize the concepts you have been taught, being able to explain or rewrite them, get an A. Another thing, applying those things to the world of work. So one thing, to respond to some of the comments that came earlier with respect to teachers lying to us that when you do this course, you get that and that. I think what you get from university, when we're in Legon, we had this argument a lot. And our Vice Chancellor, Professor Ernest Aita, at the time said, what university is giving you is critical and analytical skills, so that you're able to take an information, you're able to analyze it critically and think on your feet. So if you're able to do these things very well, you are set up for the world of work, because you cannot be sure that per the course you're doing, by all means, you're going to do one thing or the other. Exactly. But wherever you find yourself, the discipline of going through a course, meeting deadlines, doing presentations in class, networking, doing teamwork, and going through the rigors of doing a 4-year program or 3-year program, whatever it is, that should prepare you for any kind of work. You're able to see any data and analyze it and produce a report and make sense of that. And the world of work is looking for that. Someone who is prompt, who is not late, who knows how to communicate. A lot of people don't know how to reply their emails or even put basic things together. So the soft skills that matter, I think the universities, a lot of the universities have not taught their graduates the soft skills that will help them excel in the world of work. And that's where people get disappointed and say, oh, I didn't take the right course, or they lied to me.
But that's not what
But that's not necessarily the case, because whatever you learned, I studied geography and psychology. Ask me how that helps me in my line of work.
Maybe it doesn't. It doesn't help you too much like that in your line of work, but then it helps you in other areas.
I'm able to relate with Antina.
Correct. Well, it's going to get heated when we come back from we're going to take a break. When we're back, we'll get into it. You can be part of it. Send us a message. If how long you stayed home, and if you're still searching, what you read in school, and all of that. Just be part of the conversation. We might take a little twist here and there, but we're still on course. It's still the Friends and Family Show. My name is Noyo Kwote. We'll take a breather. We'll be right back.
Mido, you're not Biana. I'm going to you about this every time I just say, baby, shit. Mangashi.
Junior! I'm saying so enough for maybe the no.
Sister Cospa, it's a winning gas.
I'm using the why. Why?
Down Yankanawa.
Sister Cos. Use gas. Gas ye fast, ye easy, ye convenient.
LPG, let me see your hand.
Looking for the latest buzz in Ghana's entertainment world? Welcome to Ghana Weekend, your ultimate destination for all things creativity and entertainment.
Stay in the loop with breaking news, exclusive interviews, and then insider stories from your favorite creatives and stars. From music, movies, fashion and art, lifestyle and culture, Ghana Weekend brings it all together. Get a daily dose of entertainment, discover new talent, and never miss out on the creativity that defines our vibrant culture.
Stay connected with us across all platforms. Follow us on Instagram with the handle Ghana Weekend, on X Ghana Weekend, on TikTok Ghana Weekend, at Ghana Weekend TV on YouTube for the latest in entertainment, travel, and everything Ghana. Don't miss out. Join the Ghana Weekend family today. Ghana Weekend, where entertainment meets creativity. Visit GhanaWeekend.com now.
Welcome back to that favorite show yet, the Friends and Family Show. Today, we're coming to you live from our studios at Tessanon, number 5 Ola Hanson Lane, Channel 1 TV. you can be part of the show. Send us a message. You can get the number to text us on the screen. My name is Noyo Korte. We're talking about this. Educated but broke. Is it like a young Ghanaian struggle? Young Ghanaian struggle indeed. I think it's a young Ghanaian struggle. But sometimes it takes a different turn. You just might not know when things will just be okay. You might not know when things will be, go the other way, because you're excited coming out from school. You know that definitely I'm getting into the world to show people what I can do. Tell people, show your crutchy power to the world. But then there's always that you try the first year, you try the second year, it's not going on. I honestly think that if you try as much or that long, you should look elsewhere. But then before we're on the break, Caleb was saying something that do we have counseling for people who want to switch careers? And I think that if someone has gone through something really tough or that long period of looking for a job, I don't think that they want to go and sit in front of a counselor and for you to tell me, say, I don't think that that's what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Because you want someone to tell you, bring your CV, you start work tomorrow.
Or even take this. I used to go search for the job.
You get.
Right, you know something.
You go and tell someone your problem, like, Charlie, this is blah, blah, blah. It tells, have you been praying? It is where that...
No, prayer also works.
It works, but that's, at that moment, that's not what you want to hear.
Charlie, it's hard. So how has it been like, what I want to... So I, after school, got to do national service. After service, got to work. Before we came here, I was talking to some of my colleagues, and they said, look, after school, they were home for 3 years, 2 years, and they were recounting how their mothers will barge into their rooms and say, you are sleeping, get up, and go look for a job.
Go and clean the table.
Go and work, go and sleep. Even when there's no chore to be done, they say, get out. I'm like, you are not looking for a job. They say, oh, the job looking, I've done it online. I say, no, go and show your face. No, you're not giving me money to go and look. So there is that raw reality, which I'm interested in knowing how in the last 6 years,
you've been
how
faring.
You've been getting by, dealing with all that people will say and all that you feel internally that people don't necessarily hear.
Yeah, it's been terrible. But the thing is, people don't understand our side of the world. I usually get people ask you, don't you have any skills that you've learned and all those stuff? Growing up, we were doing fishing. And the fishing that we're doing with education, just doesn't match. Because out of the 5 days that you go to school with, sometimes you use 3 days for fishing and 2 days for schooling. So it's not about you have time to learn other things. So
okay, no, I want to understand.
No, it's been 6 years also, so away from the education, no.
Yeah.
While looking for the job. I'm sure your question then is what does it mean?
Yeah, I'm trying to establish why I've not been able to switch to the other side of the life, my life and all this stuff. So it's just about fishing and schooling. So you don't have that time, or you are not going to get that time to learn any other skills. So it's been through that, and then I finished my tertiary level. Along the line, I wish I could maybe get into any other profession. But like I said first, our way of schooling during those days is not that someone is sponsoring you to school. You are doing everything yourself. So how are you going to get another fan to, switch to a different field to restart again?
No. My question would be after university and between the 6 year period that you've been waiting. You've been waiting to work as a, what did you say again? Occupational therapist. Yeah. So that's what you've been trying to get a job for,
yes.
No?
Yeah.
So in the first year, it didn't work. Second year, no response. I'm thinking that probably third year, you'd want to re-strategize. Probably within that 6 years, say that, okay, I'm still searching for this, but let me try go and learn carpentry. Or let me try and go and learn, something else. Something right? Something. Girls are really easy with these things. We move on to probably go and learn makeup whilst you're in uni or something, bead making.
Yeah.
you go and learn how to to sew.
Yeah.
That's on the side. Yeah. And if you have a talent, probably you know how to paint. You can do some artwork, do something to sell on the side. So that's what I'm asking you. Within a 6-year period, you never thought of trying to change from the whole occupational therapy and then move to find something, save a little money, learn how to do carpentry or painting or something just to hold yourself while you're looking for your dream job.
That was the reason why I started from my village stuff. Because I didn't have that during that period, I have no knowledge of maybe learning any other thing.
But when you're always occupied.
Yeah, when you are in that position, you find it hardly to think the way you are saying it now. Oh, okay, it's been 2 years now. I'm not having a job. Let me go learn this. Let me go learn that. It's not that easy because you are fighting to get to what you've been taught. You are fighting to get somewhere that can fetch you something to live on. You want to fulfill your dream. And if you don't get anyone around you to help you with that, you always struggle because you are thinking of how should I do it? The idea of switching to a different field just doesn't pop in that easy. It's easy when you are saying it or if someone is telling you. But trust me, when you are in that state.
No, I also think that frustration will push me to do something.
Yeah, it's not always that way.
No, I think the bottom line is frustration. It should push me. Well, I'm going to talk for myself. Frustration is definitely going to push me to try something. You understand? Try something else. Because I've been running around looking for this thing and I'm not getting it. Let me go and see if this other field is going to work for me.
Correct, because I mean, the reality is, even for those who have a regular 9 to 5, it's not doing it. Your regular 9 to 5 is not cutting. You know, people have had to have some side hustles.
Yeah.
This morning we were talking about an army officer who is into honey making. There's a doctor who is into poetry and things like that. So people are really having to diversify and get new other side hustles to get by. So thing is, I've not been in your situation before, so I cannot also definitely figure out how it feels.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I've learned a lot from my situation. Like you were saying, I've been in this shoe before when you begin to think that why is he not doing this? Why is he not doing that? But trust me, my situation has made me learn a lot of things. My view about people's decision and all those stuff, it has made me learn a lot of things.
Right.
If you are not in there, you never know. You think it should be simple for the person to do that. Why is he not doing it? But when you are there you know that, whoa, I've been judging this guy wrongly or this person wrongly. It's just.
I also feel like there is lack of proper information or proper education related to other things you want to do. Like you said, you saw an advert on Facebook about you learning a skill and that skill is going to take you to Germany, right? You didn't see enough of those things online. If you had seen enough of those things, you would have made decisions. Do you get it? Because my case like this, when I was in Legon, and me knowing I have to go and work as a bus conductor and go back to school, I saw one guy. He came to our shop. He did the same course I was doing, and I saw the way this guy is dressed, and I'm like, bro, so this be the life me too I go live, because the course I did do, that is the same course this guy did, and anytime he comes, the way he has dressed, it won't motivate you. Do you get it? If that guy came around with in his SUV or something, and yeah, bro, but when he comes, all he say, Charlie, move, he had but move. He's not telling me, say, Charlie, these are the opportunities I had. So that frustration alone, and me going to work on the streets, gather money for my mom to support me, pay my fees. That was what made me had that U-turn.
We have quite a number of messages, so let's check them out real quick. So Helena, sometimes I feel like my degree is just decoration. I've applied to over 100 jobs since I graduated last year, and I've heard nothing back. It's draining.
Oh, Charlie.
Yeah.
I'm currently doing Uber with my cousin's car after finishing university. I was ashamed at first, but I needed to survive. Ghana will humble you fast. Sharp, sharp.
Accra.
This one too says, nah. This topic is very emotional for me. It is very emotional. Very emotional. My parents still think I'm being lazy because I'm home all the time. They don't understand there are no jobs even with a master's degree. I am Eric from Frimpong from I almost said you are from Frimpong. I'm Eric Frimpong from Takoradi.
Right.
All that your pundits are saying is 100% true.
Right.
Our education system is a cake because our colonial masters designed that formal education to get people work in their offices. They left the practicals out of it.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I agree.
So you just go and do theory, but they don't add
theory we are doing in school. After you are done,
you can't match it.
You can't. I mean, use whatever you've learned in school. You can't use it to create something. How am I going to use find X to get a work?
You're going there.
Find X all the time. Divide the X.
You know, this morning,
find X and
we were
Y.
discussing how a lot of the universities traditional are oversubscribed. You go to a class, there's no chair to sit on, and they are moving to virtual. So how are you teaching someone a technical program and they are not getting any hands-on experience? They are not getting the skill. They are not able to build anything.
Right.
You're doing it virtual. So someone has been to a technical university that is known for science and technology. But they
do
can't build
it and you can't do it, right?
So there is that part that is missing.
And I think we are all focused on this normal type of education. Let me go to Legon, let me go to tech, but we are trying to throw away these vocational and technical schools.
And that's where the money is.
Because that's where the money is. When you go and learn catering, and that catering, you definitely start something at home and you start making sales. If you learn how to build a chair, someone would definitely buy it, and this chair is not going to expire. But because of the kind of education we were introduced to, we always want to go and apply for work. And that one, to looking at our current situation in Ghana, it is not going to favor everybody, because out of every year, 300,000 students graduate. And all of them are not going to get work. Sometimes it be just 20%. And that 20% safe is because someone knows them.
It's true.
It's not about you knowing someone. Someone knows you. That is why, because I know someone who did geography, but right now the person is working as a bank teller. Someone knew him and the person helped him. So what did the geography do? So our educational system is, sorry to say, is very poor.
I say it's a cake.
Yes, it's a cake. It's very poor. It's not helping. So if you the individual, you don't sit down and analyze how things are going, and you don't start something doing for yourself, I think,
but you know, all of us can be entrepreneurs.
That's the reality, and it's tough being an entrepreneur.
Tough.
So I woke up this morning to see so many missed calls from a friend who's an entrepreneur, and she just wanted to vent because her employees were just giving her headache. You know, so throughout the drive to work, I mean, on Bluetooth and all, I was just complain after complain and complain, because then these are people you are training. First of all, they've done some leather work in school, but they've not had any practical experience. So
now
you are the one really training them all together. You give them an instruction, they do the different thing, and it's giving them a whole lot of headache. Besides the HR, human capacity issues, there's the issue of capital, there's the issue of market, there's the issue of unfair competition from more established brands globally.
I agree. Because I'm there on the other side.
So the entrepreneurship,
and sometimes
in no day ground,
you just want to cry.
But
do you know?
You know day ground. But sometimes you need to learn a skill.
That's completely true.
That's true. A skill is going to set you up for life.
Absolutely.
You need to learn a skill.
Let's take some more messages. It's getting really interesting. And this is from Dr. T in Kumasi. It says, I don't think the teachers at JHS and SHS levels are lying to students about career choices. I think they rather are ignorant themselves. So they advise the students and parents on courses based on the misinformation they already have, which they are unaware of. To them, they are doing the students good. So they say, oh, when I see you in class, you like maths, when you go to school, mama, monko your business. You get? We're up a casapa. More generalist. You get?
So people, so how has anyone ever told their child to consider cybersecurity, data analytics? They
don't know.
Things like
I set my son up. My son is always looking for something to fix. You know, when you buy him a wristwatch, he wants to know why the short hand is going before the long hand, or he wants to figure something out. So he's always upset. I put him in a STEM class.
Right.
Very good.
To do robotics.
Very good.
And he likes it. He comes to me and he goes like, because anything he sees, he wants to see why the thing is moving.
And he wants to build.
He wants to fix it, yes.
I've heard people say education takes out the creativity out of a lot of people and makes them into sort of like robots. You're just regurgitating information. I think we need to build people up to think more creatively and solve problems. Because a lot of the materials we've had for a long time are relics of our colonial antecedents.
Right.
We need to build people based on the needs of our economy and also integrate that into their own drive, their own creative juices, and unleash them to solve the problems, because we live in our situation. We know our problems better.
It's true. We know it now.
So
why are you smiling? I'm laughing because my director said that back in the day we didn't have robotics and STEM and all of that. All we had was visual arts, general arts, science, and agric. And then we used to laugh at people in the vocational classes because we beton pipe, back in my school. We used to laugh at them. But then we enjoyed that they are doing cooking.
Yeah.
So school, especially when there's a gentleman in the midst of like women in the vocational class. Be like, he mad to pie. You get? We used to laugh at them. And we used to laugh at the vocational and the general visual arts guys. That is either they're rowdy, what you are doing, the only thing you do is, you go and do tie and dye.
They are doing good.
Yes.
Most of them are.
They'll come and take clay and they'll do ice and
we have chefs flying from all over the world into our country and taking jobs that we could be taking, because we think that
most of them are doing good.
People
way back in school, we respect
enough.
those who are doing home economics and
yeah.
But right now, most of them are doing good.
They're doing good.
Because whatever they were learning was practical.
Yeah. The sewing class. Now,
practical.
You go and sew one shirt, 1,000 billion.
Yeah.
Because, let's say, they branded it. You get what I'm saying?
Correct.
You go and sew a dress, because they put the brand on it.
Yeah.
And then if somebody else is sewing it for you, say 250, so 250. But the one who say 1 year, 70,000, you're going to take it because he's put the brand on it. Meanwhile, sometimes those who are doing the nkwanche, with the sewing machine, we used to laugh at them. But now when they enter shop, they teach them out. All right, so more messages.
Yes.
After moving out of Ghana, I see how rigid the education system in Ghana is.
Yeah.
Switching from polytechnics to universities and vocational should be flexible and without shame. I agree. This is from Akusia. So I'm Rani from Oyarifa. I now sell wigs on Instagram full time.
Thank you.
After studying engineering. I'm not ashamed anymore.
Engineer.
Engineer. It's actually what's paying my rent.
So he's moved from civil engineering to
she's moved from
engineering.
Cosmetic engineering. Yeah. Wow. And national service ended, and now I feel lost.
Oh Lord.
I thought I'd be working in a top company by now. Nobody warned me about this stage. It is so hard here.
It is.
The person is stressed on the heart.
It is.
The world is constantly evolving and super fast. When I started realizing I can make money by becoming a social entrepreneur, I constantly see lots of ideas, but capital is the problem. Charlie, that's one Ghana City's capital won't work in my world. You need the boom, boom, boom one. But who's going to see boom for you?
I know.
No, you need to start
So
from
let's all
somewhere.
drops of water. I mean, you do here small, save some. We're talking about saving actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll come to that. Imagine owing student loans and still having to borrow money just to get to job interviews. It is sad.
Yeah.
Now that'll bring me to my question. And then actually under the topic that we're talking about tonight. You're educated, but you're broke.
Charlie.
And this is you doing probably 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You're still broke.
Yeah. Listen, it's tough.
Yeah.
And I've been reading some materials that point to the fact that no matter how much you earn, if you don't make prudent financial decisions, you're going to end up broke. So there's the point where, so what you're earning is not enough. So what do you need to do? Check your expenses, see how you can reduce your expenses and make some savings, and make sure your savings do some investments, and that does some work for you with time. The reality is that when we are done with school and we are in the hot mess, we don't want to hear these things. Again, I'll go back to financial literacy. People are done with school, they are literate in what they studied, but they may not be digitally literate. So we go school, but IT wise and financial too is not too there. So I'm saying that it's great to be smart in your academic pursuit and your endeavors, but in all that too, you need to be financially literate. And that's where the missing gap is, and we need to take responsibility for educating ourselves with respect to our finances. So you're great at something, you're good at your job. And, you know, people leave Ghana to go abroad, and they don't do just one job.
Yeah.
They do 1, 2, 3. You know, but we want to... Yeah, I believe that people should be paid well for what they do. But your earnings alone won't give you the kind of life and comfort that you want. I mean, if it does for you, praise God. But if it doesn't, then you need to also think about how to ethically, you know, multiply your streams of income. And so that's the point. You educated but broken. It's a dicey one.
How much are you even earning in a
to
month
save?
for
You see, that's
save?
my problem. How much are you even earning
for you
to even to save? Because you will know that, okay, now I earn blah, blah, blah. I'm like your tithe. Let me just take this amount of money and put it in another account.
True.
And then that's my savings. But again, you're running by this particular, I think that it will boil down to discipline.
The other thing also is that people, to be honest, guys, forgive me, but some of us don't like to live within our means.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, correct.
So, look, if you're online, the things you are seeing is not always what it is. People go and borrow shada, borrow, right? Live in places they can't afford. So also, I mean, let's try and, I mean, look, I'm not discounting the fact that life is tough and people are struggling and life is really challenging. But also, living within your means will help you also then manage your resources and see how you can multiply them. So I'm just throwing this in to say, guys, life is tough. But adding living beyond your means to it makes it tougher. Just be real to yourself.
I wish that we could go on and on and on, but this is how far we can go. I'm just going to take my final message, and then sometimes I feel like a failure, like I disappointed my parents, even though I did everything they asked: school, good grades, and service. But Charlie, life is tough out there. I'm wishing everybody that's out there searching for jobs, I wish you all the best, honestly. 6 years is long enough. It's tough. But I wish you all the grace, all the everything that you need for you to grow up something. I hope that now that you're leaving here, it will be a great start. I pray for Kabarush. I pray for you. Yeah. All right. So it has been the Friends and Family Show. Caleb, don't look at me like I pray for you as well. Take it.
I receive it.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Caleb. And thank you, Moses. And thank you very much for coming. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, 6 p.m. My name is Noyo Kwote. Enjoy. My love to you always. Mwah.